work after a family holiday and looking forward to teaching for the next few days, and also going to get my own game in a little bit of shape. I've got a Pro-Am coming up in Ed Martin's Golf Club, 11 days out. I've had very little practice, my game isn't sharp, but I do want to try and perform, so I'm going to do a little bit of golf cramming. So for me, the first thing I've got to do is I've got to look at my own game, see where the weaknesses are and target those. I've got to look at where the strengths are and obviously maintain those as key strengths within my game. I've got to look at the golf course I'm playing, which is Beaverstown Golf Club, and the type of shots that it requires. So for me, I don't find it a particularly long course, but it's certainly very, very tight. It's built in an apple orchard. There's trees everywhere you look. The greens are quite undulating, so you've got to be going into them with control. So obviously the key for me there is I need to be hitting the ball clean and straight. You can't guarantee that it's going to be straight if it's not clean, so that's got to be my first port of call. So for me at the moment, my game, iron play is middling. Off the tee I'm kind of okay. My short game needs to be really, really sharp around there, which it's not at the moment. I've struggled with my chipping over the last while, so I need to put some serious work in there. And the final thing then is I've got to have a strategy for the day. I've got to know where I'm going to put the ball. I certainly don't want to play out of those trees. I don't want to be going into the green out of heavy rough. I want to control shots. So that's going to be my key focus. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit myself down and I'm going to make a little plan for the next 10 or 11 days of how I'm going to get my game in shape and what areas I'm going to work on. Let's go have a look at how that turns out. So here we are, guys. A quick look at the plan that I've done out to take me through the next, I don't know, maybe 10 days or so. See if I can get my game in some kind of shape. So basically what I've done here, you can see I've listed out all the shots: driver, iron play, wedge play, putting, just so I can then rate them and see where I'm at. So in my view, this is my view of where my game is at the moment. So long irons and driving, fairway woods, kind of 5 or 6. They're okay. There's nothing spectacular. Short irons and wedge play, not nearly as good as they should be, especially for the course I'm going to be playing. 2 for chipping. My chipping's a shocker. 7 and 8 on putters and putting and bunkers. Decent enough. Always being solid in that area, so I'm kind of happy enough with those. So what I've done is I've taken my ratings, I've then prioritized them in terms of what I need to work on. So obviously chipping has come out number 1, wedge play and short game number 2. The problem with this is, although the priority is to get the wedge play, the chipping, to a higher standard, I have to maintain my strengths. And even though they're a low priority, I have to maintain them. And because they're in the short game area, I'm going to work on them daily. So what I've done here is I've starred the ones that I'm going to work on every single day. Now, bunkers, I haven't put anything beside it because really the number of times I'm going to be in the bunker and the benefit I'm going to get by practicing is minimal. So I'm not going to worry too much there. Then when we get to short irons and wedge play, I'm going to do them once every 2 days. That's what this means, 1 out of every 2 days. So day 1 I'll do short irons, day 2 I'll do wedges, day 3 short irons, and so on. Here with the long game, again, the benefits there, I just want to be able to keep it in play. I want to be able to find it in the fairway and have an approach shot. So I'm going to do these once every 3 days. Now I may leave the driver and the fairway woods until 2 or 3 days into the program. There's no point in me getting into those until the swing is in some sort of shape. So I'll work on that mainly here in the wedges and the irons. Then we'll introduce the driver and the woods probably 2 or 3 days into the program. But that's the plan. That's what I'm going to try and do. I know what I feel I need to work on. I'm going to give it a shot. So let's see how we go. So, as with any good golf plan, it's got to start somewhere. This one is going to start with my setup. number of people who just ignore it. Crazy stuff. If you're not in a good setup position, you're stuffed, guys. Doesn't matter what you do, you can watch all the YouTube videos you like, you can read all the magazines you like. If you're not in a good setup position, none of those swing fixes or techniques are going to work for you. So you've got to get set up. So for me, iron play, alignment is a little bit left. I hope you can see the rods on the ground, I'm sure you can. A little bit left, ball position. This is my 7 iron. So my ball position is a hair ahead of centre. And I'm going to get set up, practice away. So one of the things I do here in the centre is I've got a mirror facing me. So I will check posture and grip face on, and I've got mirrors behind the camera there, and I will check my posture down the line just to see that it's good. I've worked on this for years, so I'm not putting tape on the mirror to show where the lines are or anything like that, and I'm not using the camera. I know looking at it if I'm in a good setup position. I know what my posture should be. For you guys, using video or still photography, using tape on your mirrors to show you what lines your body should be set up on, work away, definitely key things to do. For me, I'm just hoping I'm good enough. So, setup position. Looks nice. And I don't bother hitting a ball. Why? I'm not working on ball striking, I'm not working on where the club face is pointing, what my path is, or any of those things. I'm working on setup. So let's go work on setup. You know, this is simple, you can do this anywhere, you know. So again, good alignment to my target, good ball position, happy with my face on setup, happy with my down the line setup, good to go. This may look really boring to you, in fact it probably does, but this is something you just got to do. Now if you can go and hit balls, feel free, go and hit balls and check these things, but like spend 10 minutes a day at home in your front room or your spare room, wherever. Practice setup, checking in the mirrors or with the camera. You don't have to hit balls. You could do this, you could do like 10 minutes a day. Your setup after a week or two, your setup will be so sharp. So this is going to be a key part of my practice. I'm going to keep monitoring it. It's not something I will do every day, but I'll certainly do it. You know, I've got 11 days out to the Pro-Am. I'll do it 4 or 5 times between here and the Pro-Am. I'll do 10-minute, 15-minute sessions on it, just to make sure that it's sharp. And I'll go through the bag. It won't just be with my 7 iron. I will check my setup for wedge. I'll check my setup for driver and putting. One of the problems I see for a lot of guys is when it comes to chipping and putting, they just don't check simple things like setup. So moving on, we go to the next stage of our practice. So have a little plan done. Yeah. It'll get me there. Hopefully, it'll certainly help me play better if I can stick to my plan. So one of the key points on the plan was I need to hit the ball straight. So I'm going to do some work on quality of strike. So don't know if you can see the face here on the club. I'll bring it in close. So I've got face tape on my club, which is going to show me where the point of contact is. Now I appreciate, I'm fortunate that I have face tape, but you can use a powder. If you've got talcum powder, put that on the face, see where the strike is. So what I tend to do is I use a game to improve quality of strike. So I try to hit one out of the heel, I try to hit one out of the toe, I try to hit one out of the middle of the face, and then obviously I'm bringing it in until I can pinpoint that strike right on the middle of the club face. So I'm just going to hit 1 or 2 just to give you a feel for it. So this one, set up as normal. I'm not going to, fudge my setup. I'm not going to change where club face is in relation to the ball, I'm always going to set it up in my normal position. And what I'm looking to do with this first ball is I'm going to try and hit this one out of the toe. And for my sins, I've got it out of the toe. I'm happy. Now, this is the tricky one. I'm going to try and hit it out of the heel. Hopefully I'm not going to impact the side wall. I've got a large screen TV up here. I definitely don't want to hit that one. But I'm going to try and hit this one out of the heel without maybe hitting it out of the hosel. With a bit of luck. Here we go. Duffed it a little bit, so it's high on the face, but it is out of the heel. Final one now. Going to try and put one on the sweet spot. And as I go through this game over the next few days, I'm obviously going to focus far more on hitting it out of the sweet spot, because that's the key zone for us. We'd be a little foolish to be hitting it anywhere else, wouldn't we? It's more centered, but it's certainly leaning a little bit towards the toe, which would be my weakness. So I'm going to put some more work in on that, try and get my ball striking a little better. Hi guys, so I'm down the other end of the learning center now, and what I'm going to look at is just getting my putting practice started. So initially I want to know that I'm putting the club face square on the ball, and I know this is a straight put. It's an indoor putting mat, it's flat, it rolls straight. So I'm just going to try and roll a few putts and see if I'm getting that club face square to the ball at impact. Yes, legend. This putting would be a strength in my game. I've always felt I'm a good putter. I don't know whether I'm a good putter because I'm confident, or I'm confident because I'm a good putter. It's always been a debate, but I don't care what the reason is. I think I'm a good putter, so I'm going to try and use that as a key strength. I'm going to try and maintain that over the coming weeks. My key areas, you know, I look at 3-footing in, tour guys are holding 99.9% of them. Amateurs are still 97, 98%. So we're looking at, let's make all our 3-footers. I'm going to do a lot of practice on them. When we get out then, under 10 foot, you know, the percentage obviously drops, but it's a key area to hold putts. And the course I'm playing has quite undulating greens, so I'm going to have to be really good in that area, because my lag putts are probably going to run to 4 or 5 foot potentially. The 10 to 20, 25 foot, I don't see a lot of people making a lot of putts. If Jordan Spieth happens to be watching this video, hey Jordan, how's it going? I like the way you put. But you're the only man who's making those putts really. For the average club golfer, you know, 10 to 25 foot, make sure you 2-putt, that's the key. Then when we get outside 25 foot, that's when we hit 3-putt zone. That's when we're in danger land. I want to start lagging my putts up as close as I can. I'm making these 3-footers, 6-footers, making lots of them. So what I'll focus on now is, once I've got the putter head through the ball square, I'm going to focus then on my 10-foot and inputs and 25-foot and out. If they're good, the stroke and the distance control in the 10 to 25 foot range will be solid anyway. So I'm not going to do much there. I've got limited time. I'm going to focus on the key areas. So just make sure, let's see that we're getting that club face square onto the ball. Happy with those, 2 of them in the middle. Tune in, see where the practice goes from here, but this is the early stages. Cheers guys. So, as I said in the introduction to this video, wedge play hasn't been great lately. I grew up playing pitch and putt, which is like here in Ireland, it's shots of like 35 to 80 yards. Greens are tiny. You got to be ultra accurate. You're going to miss greens and chip a lot. I played off scratch handicap for like 15 years as a kid. Really was one of the strengths in my game when I came to golf. I changed my technique because golf required more power. And I found over time, chipping, pitching, that kind of weakened off a little bit, and I never put enough work into it then to maintain it at the level. So what I'm going to do here today, just to try and get some skill level back, Beaverstown, I'm going to have to hit good pitches and chips in there. The greens are undulating, you got to get it close, you can't take a chance, as brilliant a putter as I am, you cannot take a chance that you're going to make a lot of putts. So I got to get the ball into reasonable positions. So what I've done here is, TrackMan has a test center. I've set up a little test. It's pitch shots of like 40 to 80 yards, 40 to 90 I think this one is. So I'm going to just hit some pitch shots. TrackMan will tell me how close to the target I'm getting it. It's all about how far I carry the ball. So let's have a go. See how we get on. I pitch, generally speaking, with my 54 degree. I don't throw it particularly high. I'm not one for lobbing balls in there from the stratosphere and hoping that they just beside the hole. Not my thing. I like to play them in a bit sharper, hopefully a bit of spin on the ball, try and check them up. Doesn't always happen, especially how badly I'm hitting it. But here we go. So 47 yards. I probably should have practiced before I stuck the video on. This could be a mistake. But here we go, 47. So. Nipped well, but not good. Carried it 60 nearly. Wow, didn't feel that. I scored 10 out of 100. Top class start. We're on the way, we're on the way. 79 this time. Okay, let's see if we can put something on it. A little bit chunky. 69, better score, 54 out of 100. We just go 147 again. It knows I didn't like that the first time. Oh, 51, not bad. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to run my way through this game, 10 balls, see what score I get. I'll take the game outdoors. It allows me to play outdoors as well. So once I feel that I'm striking the ball reasonable and I have some control on my swing, I'll take this outdoors onto our practice facility here at the Learning Centre and start hitting off grass, because at the end of the day, that's the key component. And you'll see as I go through, it'll become more and more difficult. So I'll have a lot of kind of fairway shots, because you got to assume you're going to hit the ball straight. But I'll also play a few out of rough lies, just to get some feel for how that's going to play. So stay tuned, watch the rest of it, see how I get on. Cheers, guys. Hi guys, so here we are out at the short game area in the academy, and I'm going to do some work on chipping. For me, chipping's an outdoor activity. You cannot stand indoors and replicate the feel of the club head on the turf, or even the visuals that go along with trying to hit a ball onto an elevated green or anything like that. So, gonna do a bit of work outside. I'm going to work initially on quality of strike. So there's no point in trying to be smart and hit spinning shots and all that kind of stuff if the strike quality just isn't there. So that's going to be my first port of call. Can I hit the ball cleanly? I'm not going to bother with a target here. I'm simply chipping onto an open green, nothing more. So let's go have a look, see how we get on chipping. So here we are at my little chipping station. Just got a coin down to mark where I'm going to practice from. I'm just going to play a few. You'll see I'm not aiming at a target. I'm just looking to strike the ball clean. Happy? That was a decent one for a change. A little bit low on the face. A little bit low on the face again. So we just keep working. Let's get better at this. So that's today's work done. I'm going to follow my plan. What I'll do is update you as I go along. You may have picked up on the fact that I didn't do any tee shots. I didn't hit driver, I didn't hit the fairway woods. It's too early. It's too early. I've got to get the ball off the middle of the club face. I've got to get the strike reasonable. I've got to get the swing reasonable control. Then, as you'll see later on, I'll introduce the drivers, tee shots and that kind of stuff. You might notice that I practice a lot of 3-irons. You know, that course, if you hit 3 and 4 iron off the tee, there's probably 4 or 5 holes where you would tee it with a long iron, maybe 2 or 3 iron. So you're going to see a bit of that. But do stay tuned, see what we come up with, and maybe this will give you a chance or a pathway to get your game in some kind of shape as you lead into your major events in your club. Who knows, might be good for everyone. Take care guys, see you soon.